Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Bourne here from Grease Monkey Gaming, and in this video I want to be talking about the game mode Rush in Battlefield 4. So in the comments below, please let us know what you think of Rush in Battlefield 4 and list any changes that you would make. Now, ever since Battlefield 4 was released, it's been taking really harsh criticism for being an unbalanced and just full of issues. Now, on some maps the attackers have the advantage, and on some maps the defenders have the advantage. Now, the things that will allow this advantage aren't limited to, but can include things like too many vehicles. Now, when the attacking team has an extra transport, for example, it doesn't do them much good directly, like attacking the objectives, let's say. However, it allows them to reach the objectives much quicker. Now, indirectly, this is helpful to them, but also leaves the defenders trying to play catch-up, since the use of a transport vehicle allowed them to reach the objectives much quicker than they would have without a transport vehicle. Now, a good example where this happens is on the map Siege of Shanghai. Currently, the attackers are given a transport chopper. Now, on a round where the pilot is using the chopper wisely, he'll position himself just flying around and above the two buildings and the parking garage where the first set of MCOMs is. Now, as long as the pilot is flying around, the helicopter becomes a mobile spawn point for the entire attacking team. Landing the helicopter on one of the two buildings is another thing I see quite often on this map. Again, as long as someone remains in the helicopter or gets back in it just to let people spawn, it's a mobile spawn point. This set of MCOMs can be defended. The defenders can win, but it must be done very efficiently and with a lot of teamwork, because the amount of attackers that are there, they can literally spawn right on top of the objectives. As long as you keep that transport chopper up there or flying around, they can just parachute down right on top of the objectives and take them quite easily. Now, DICE has already put some changes into a couple rush maps on the community test environment, and are giving those players the opportunity to see what works and still needs a little bit of tweaking. We have a short list of these changes that I will link in the description below. Be sure to check that out. Siege of Shanghai is currently receiving these changes in the community test environment, not, for sure like it's going to be coming out, still in the CTE being tested. Removed all air vehicles to make this a land rush battle only. Cut all the power to the elevators, so no more using elevators to get to the buildings. Tweaked all MCOM locations, especially on base 2, that one where you have to go underground to get both the A and B MCOMs. Tweaked vehicle setup, and slightly tweaked combat areas and spawns, and also added a few cover pieces to go with the new MCOM placement. All of these sound like improvements, if not, total fixes to this map, at least in my opinion. Now, again, only CTE players currently have access to these changes and get to see and play how it actually, affects the way they play and the gameplay. The rest of us kind of have to listen to what they think. Hopefully, we'll get to watch some of this gameplay and then just, basically end up waiting until a decision is made to actually release it. Now, there are many more maps with issues in Battlefield 4. Goldman Railway is one, because the attackers have multiple tanks, and that is just almost impossible for the defenders. Hanen Resort is another one. The first set of MCOMs that are right off the beach there. While the attackers do get LAV and attack boat, it's still hard to try to get a team onto the beach and plant the objectives. It's just too difficult. Now, I want to talk about one more, mainly because it also has a small list of tweaks. This map is Zavod 311. Now, right now, it's a very challenging map for the attackers. Both the first and last set of MCOMs can get bogged down very easy, depending on how your team wants to play. Now, on the first set, it can be very difficult to gain any ground if you don't manage to plant the first MCOM. Defending team has the high ground, and they can easily pin the attackers down nearly all the way back to their deployment. The only way to get past this first set of MCOMs is either get inside the bomb shelter or whatever building that is, or try and gain control of the hill. Now, after the next two sets, those aren't as difficult as the first and last set. Getting to the final set of MCOMs is where the challenge really sets in. The final MCOM is inside like a 3-story tower. So besides the fact that you can be shot while trying to climb up the stairs and probably won't even make it up, there's also room for like an entire squad at the top of the tower just waiting for you. Besides that, you're going to want to watch out for the countless claymores, C4s, launcher, M320, and just explosive spam that's going to be getting thrown up into this tower. Now, these reasons are just some of why this map needs some work. Now, here are the things that DICE has tweaked in the community test environment for this map. They wanted to make this map easier for attackers, obviously, but especially on bases 1 and 4, like I was talking about. Major rebalance on vehicles in favor of the attackers. For instance, a transport chopper has been given to the attackers for bases 2 and onwards. Tweaks on MCOM positions and minor changes to combat areas and spawns. Added a few pieces of cover and reduced terrain crater depth. After all these decisions are made and thoroughly tested on the community test environment, maybe we'll have more evenly balanced and fun game mode of Rush again. I hope so. I've always liked Rush, and even in Battlefield 4, it's still my most played game mode, even with all these issues and frustrations. Now, hopefully this gets more people to come back to Rush. It seems like they're working pretty hard on it and testing a lot of things. So, as always guys, I hope you learned something from this video as well as enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys later.